Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 1st of May for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you some standout details to look out for, but please stay with me. I will then explore each of the 12 zodiac signs in much greater detail. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, it's great to have you with us. I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, if you'd like to get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, please see the link beneath this video where you can subscribe. And if you'd like to have a one-to-one with me, please also see below where you can read my testimonials. Now this week begins with a really important astrological event, and that's called the Mercury cazimi with the Sun. Mercury, of course, is retrograde at the moment in the sign of Taurus, and that's asking us to think very much about our sense of self-worth, our values, everyday money, and the foundations of our life. Also, the sign of Taurus, where the Sun is located along with Mercury and the North Node and Uranus, is very much about food and also about where we gain pleasures. It's ruled by Venus. So the combination of the Sun and Mercury so closely together as we see it from Earth, despite Mercury's retrograde, gives us a chance to try to be more flexible about some of our attitudes which may be quite stuck and a little bit rigid. So if we can flex, that's a good thing. Now Uranus in Taurus, not its best location, is in a good alliance with Mars in Cancer, also in full. But that combination is asking us to think outside the box. Now, of course, the main event this week is the Scorpio lunar eclipse, an exact mirror image of the Taurus lunar eclipse, which occurred on the 8th of November last year and predicated the financial crisis that we have been going through since then. But Saturn, the planet of restriction, was in the sign of the collective, of the people, the sign of Aquarius when that event occurred. And that led to a lot of restriction for us all, but also a lot of outspoken pushing back around what's seen as perceived unfairness. So I feel that this particular eclipse is going to see more revelations, but also around not just the financial sphere, but also around some very famous people's attitudes to intimacy. So I'm trying to be very diplomatic there. So because Uranus is in the mix, I think we are going to see lots of more shocking revelations over the next 6 months, but also a continuing push to reset our attitude and relationship to our consumption of resources. So we're being asked, particularly with Saturn in a great link with the North Node, to actually embrace a more spiritual, emotional and psychological sphere rather than purely a material one. Now when it comes to romance this week, with Venus and Neptune in a square exactly on Thursday, but in touch with one another all this week within 3 degrees, things can really seem a little confusing. If there is someone who's being very flattering but rather elusive, do proceed with caution. And that's the great thing about this Taurus energy this week, because it's asking us to gravitate towards the things that are really solid, tangible, and give us a sense of security. You know, whether it's making our own food from scratch, growing our own vegetables, going for a nice walk in the country, having a lovely cup of tea with someone we're very fond of. Those solid, secure things can be a great antidote to the swirling mist of Neptune applying to Venus, which can be very flirty, but also very deceptive. So if you do meet someone that you find to be very alluring, do proceed with a degree of caution. But then on Sunday, Venus relocates, joining with Mars in Cancer. If you have or do make some changes to where you live this week, which wouldn't be a surprise, or some kind of rental or house purchase plan takes a lively step forwards, I feel that what Venus does is bring a more healing balm to the more aggressive energies of Mars, which of course is more action orientated, but a bit defensive and a bit moody in the sign of Cancer. So there's a little bit more of a softening as this week draws to a close, but a great opportunity to think about redecoration or some kind of family gathering or reunion. Now, please stay with me for your in-depth forecast from Aries through to Pisces. If you would like to understand how Sirius astrology can work its way into your situation in such a profound way, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can produce for you your life roadmap report, totally unique to you, which can help you to understand some of the patterns that have gone on in your life, but also get a much more intimate understanding of how to work with them. In my special package of 30% off, you can also get your 12-month personal forecast. This can give you Syrian insights for the months ahead, but if you don't know your time, my solar package, which I've recently developed, and if you are someone who really enjoys watching your sun forecast, if you don't know your ascendant, because you don't have an exact idea of your time of birth, then these charts can be very, very helpful to you. Again, the same package, 30% off. Please see the link below. So Cancer, your week commencing the 1st of May forecast begins with Mars still in your sign, sparking energetically with Uranus in the part of your situation to do with the future, to do with your friendship, your network, and your highest ideals. And of course, Uranus is very much connected to all those things itself. So you could find yourself making some very bold moves this week, which can create a lot of excitement. And it can be to do with who you're linking with, because with the Sun in that exact conjunction, the Cazimi on Monday, despite the retrograde of Mercury, it could see you hankering to get in touch with someone you haven't seen for a while. You may hear from someone that you haven't connected with. They may surprise you with reaching out, and that can create a lot of buzz. But equally, with the retrograde inversing inside the Sun, by the middle of the week, you could be rethinking some certain plans, not least around your romantic situation, because Venus is going to arrive in your sign as the week draws to a close, which is great if you want to give yourself some kind of makeover. But of course, it will come into the same sign as yours, as Mars, so you have the 2 planets of relating together for a week in your sign before Mars makes its way into the sign of Leo. So I feel that that would be a great time to instigate some freshness around your personal appearance or fashion choices, or even not your love choices. And with this issue with Venus squaring up with Neptune, it could be that you are going to find something out. The key, however, especially when they reach a peak of the square on Thursday, is if someone else tells you something, particularly a friend, just try to be conscious of what their motive may be, because I feel Venus square Neptune, it can be quite distorting of how we view things. Neptune's in the part of your situation to do with your very most spiritual values. So if there's something that you hear that, you know, is a little bit malicious, not necessarily very kind, I wouldn't necessarily take it at face value. Now, the eclipse, of course, is manifesting in the part of your situation to do with your individual talents. So what makes you fresh, vibrant, fun, but also how you can dazzle people with your personal vibe, that is turned up over the next 6 months. It's just that if you're in that network or friendship where someone's trying to dim you down, I feel that the eclipse is saying to you, you need to shine, you know, whatever the contra energies that you're experiencing. But overall, I feel if you have got a decent network, or you've got plans for the future that you're formulating, Obviously Mercury retrograde can see some things fade away, but I feel some new things can come in, or the good things that you're into can firm up. But once Venus moves into your sign on Sunday, that's really one of the high points of the year for you in terms of feeling attractive, self-confident and assured. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Cancer. Please like, comment or subscribe.